Alright guys, so today we are in a very unusual but very important place in Scotland. It is not the most well-known place, but it is one of the most important historical sites. Where we are today is a Dunadd Fort. Now, let's go back to the 500 AD, so about 1,500 years ago. The kings, some of the kings from Ireland, make their way across the channel, across the Irish Sea, to the Isle of Britain. They set up on its west coast and soon form an empire that is called Dál Riata. Now that empire becomes one of the strongest ones in the land. It is a Celtic one, as opposed to the native Picts that were previously living in these lands. Over the next course of 300 to 400 years, they conquer their Pictish neighbors and unite the lands of Picts and Dál Riata together into the kingdom of Alba, which more or less resembles what today's Scotland is. So, in the way, what we're going to look at, it is the ancient heart of Scotland, as it is. Of course, today you can't see the fort in all its glory, but you can still see some of the structures and rock carvings and hey guys. But you can still see all these rock carvings, some of which are world renowned, as the footprint that we're gonna see pretty soon here. But what you have to realize is this fort was basically the stronghold of the empire of Dál Riata. Now you might ask, well, why is Dál Riata so important? Well, at the time, the people that came from Ireland, the Gaelic people that came and settled here in Scotland, they were called Scots. And so that is where you get the name Scotland. It's tied to the history of this tribe that came and conquered these lands, and then eventually united everybody. And so what we're gonna see is the most important city in that empire, the capital that stretched for hundreds of miles. It was a stronghold that brought fear into their enemies' hearts and prosperity to their friends. And so we're gonna see the very, very heart of Dál Riata Kingdom, and by definition, the heart of modern day Scotland. Let's go. As you can see, it's pretty rocky and steep. We're making good progress. As you see, the fields are far down below, full of sheep. By the way, what a beautiful country. But we're making our way up yet further and further. There's no set trail, so you sort of have to find your own way through these ancient rocks. Oh, the wind is blowing in your face, but at every turn you get rewarded with a beautiful view like this. Alright guys, well, let's keep on scaling this wall. So you can just imagine, back in the day, you would have craftsmen and noblemen from all over the kingdom come here and pledge their allegiance to the kings of Dál Riata right here on these cliffs. Oh, okay. Whew. We made it a little further. Look at this. Look how steep this climb is. But you gotta get to the very top. So looksy here. Check this out. So this is basically the recreation of the fort in the 600 AD. As you can see, there's a chiseled opening in the rock right here, onto which then the main fort would be opened up And I'm assuming this is the place for the king and other nobility to live. But look at here. You see this? You see this opening right here in the rock? This is the main entrance. This chiseled out of the rock tunnel that will lead you into this amazing fortified fortress. As you can see, there would be all sorts of festivities here and people dwellings here, and of course the palace, the royal palace at the time, and around, you know, you wouldn't have fields at the time. There would just sort of be this feral, wild land. Alright guys, well, we are now walking through this chiseled passage in the mountain to get to the heart of the fort. And as I'm walking, I'm realizing that this rock passage every Dál Riata king that existed during that time would have to follow the same route as we're doing right now. He would have to follow these same steps as we do. So we're following every single step that the ancient kings would take. It's so exhilarating. Let's keep on going. We're in. Look at this. This is the body, the main space of this fort. As you can see, you're sort of fortified on all of the sides by these huge rocks, and here there's enough space to put up your tents. Oh, look at this! We found some friends. Look at these, the guardians of the fort, the black sheeps of the family. Hey fellas. How are you doing? Look at these beautiful folks chilling here at this historical site. And black, I never seen black sheep before. I wonder if they're dyed. No, they're not. Wow, interesting. And look at this rock right here. This is surely something. Oh, don't be scared, sheep. Look at this. This is definitely man-made because you can see the way the rocks are stacked. But there's some kind of slab here, and I'm not too sure what this is for. Maybe it's just a slab to close a cairn. Maybe this is a cairn. Maybe somebody was buried here at a certain point. Not too sure. But we are almost at the top, so let's venture further. Right into the clouds here. It does feel that high. Yeah, look at this. See, this is the entrance. Here's sort of the main body, I'm presuming. And now we're gonna go all the way up there, which is, I think, the entrance to the royal headquarters. Or maybe a second stage of the fort. Let's see. Okay guys, I want you to walk with me this last stretch, because look how amazing and mysterious and sort of brutal it looks. These ancient stepways of the king. I'm sure they were much more orderly at the time, but now they're sort of half rubble, half structure. But we're almost there. Look at this. Oh my god, what are we gonna see? What sort of view will greet us? Whew. Look at that. Oh, look at this. Wow. Oh my god. Oh. And it goes yet further. Oh man. One thing you really don't want to do is fall down this thing. This would be absolutely unforgiving. Okay. Let's keep on going. Okay guys, so we're almost at the very top, and the next thing I'm going to show you is absolutely mind-blowing. This is one of the most famous rock carvings at this fort site. Check this out. Alright, well, I couldn't have but not tried placing my foot in this footprint, which is apparently totally awesome, totally okay, because I saw other people do that, so it's not like sacrilege or anything, but we gotta see if it fits. So let's walk up and take off our shoes. And do this. And so this would be done by the kings of Dál Riata, a tradition that came from Ireland, and you can see carvings like these in a whole bunch of places in Ireland, but they basically brought it here, and the reasoning was that once you place your foot, you sort of pledge allegiance to this land, the land that feeds your people, the land that provides for you, and you pledge your allegiance, and the rock would determine if you're worthy or not. And on the rock somewhere here it says, "We the people of the bog." So it's sort of this communal acceptance of you as a leader by the people and the nature and the gods. So what a treat to do this. Dál Riata. So another thing you can see here is this sort of cup looking carving, and this of course might have been actually for the sacrifice, right? So maybe you could fill it up with blood or some kind of incense and maybe burn a fire or something like that, but that might be one of the explanation. And of course that's right next to the famous footprint of the kings. But of course now it is time to summit this hillside. This is, I promise, the last set of steps that we're gonna make if we don't fall. Okay, look at this. We're at the top of the Dál Riata world. This is it. This is the magic place. I'm assuming this is where kings of Dál Riata, these ancient kings, would sit and rule, maybe with an iron fist, or maybe not. But they could certainly see for miles and miles to their subjects, plan their next wars, plan their next raids. Wow, what a place. This is magical. Well, there you guys are. We just walked inside the heart of ancient Scotland, and maybe the heart of Scotland that we see today. We saw the ruins of this ancient Dál Riata fort that was a stronghold and the capital of the whole kingdom. We saw the sights that they would have seen. We walked the same passages that they would have walked. We saw some of the most magnificent and mysterious rock carvings, and we even placed our own foot in there. So I really hope you had fun, and if you have a chance, come here and hear the heart of Scotland beating for yourself. Cheers.